and Metis, who will be right back in just a second. His voice is kind of hurting. We're bringing you the Animate versus Mousesports game, and so far it's been actually quite even. It's 2-3 right now towards Mousesports, but it's a 700 gold lead for Animate. On Animate, we have Zyra, Varus, Orianna, Renekton, Jarvan, so we see kind of an all-in engage comp. And on the other hand, we have a Lulu, Jace, Ezreal, Nasus, and Lux, so there's a little bit more of a poke and disengage comp. We'll have to see how these two teams fare it out as we see them kind of grouping around Nash right now. Not Nash, sorry, Drake right now. Going to try to pick this one out. Mousesports have begun it, but Animate do not want to give this up easily. Meanwhile, on top lane, the Renekton has pushed down the turret, so they might be content just trading up this turret for Drake. They do pick it up, a little poke coming now, but Shacker gets polymorphed, and he will be just fine getting out of there. And when we see Vizzy Sassy, I can't pronounce that name. He's a Hungarian, I think. He's on top lane, taking on that next turret. He's gonna have to run away as Kikis is just gonna jump on him. Put a little bit of damage, there's the stun, but Vizzy has to run away. Here comes Super Hot Fire, also known as Moops, running up. Vizzy is very, very low. Kikis is still chasing, he has his... Oh, he was top dominant. He's gonna all into Kikis, there's the laser. Oh my god, the damage. And he's gonna pick it up, and no, he barely picks it up right there. Kikis, very, very low. That Lux shield was very, very important, but the Call of Meek did not go out. A little bit of a shame, and that's going to... Actually, the gold lead is still relatively even, and we see Animate pushing towards this mid lane. Yeah, that turret is definitely going down, and there's the gold lead, just a little bit under 1k. Good job by Animate rotating at the right time. Let's see. Yeah, my mic is a little bit weird. I'm really sorry about that. I'm not exactly using a caster mic, but you'll just have to bear with me just for a little bit. The smite does go down, and Blastoise picks up the blue buff, does not use Hydro Pump, has not learned it yet. He's not high enough level. And honestly, I don't know who this Blastoise guy is. I've not seen his name, so I can't really tell you much about him. But I can tell you that Fushark does actually like to play Ezreal a lot, and he's going for that, of course, the blue Ezreal. He doesn't even have boots yet. He's going for a very early Iceborne Gauntlet, even before any major lifesteal item. So he's going to be able to kite and poke very well. Let's see. If you're just joining us now, welcome. We're in the Mouse versus Animate game. We did not manage to catch the picks and bans because, we were kind of stuck in the Donk Squad versus Pride FC game, which Donk Squad, after a very grueling best of 3, picked up a 2-1 victory. So we'll see them tomorrow in the semifinals, facing off against one of the winners of today. Heimerdinger Colossi also passed through with a 2-0 victory over My Revenge. Peculiar Gaming versus Benched is going on. I'm not aware of the score right now, but right now we're in Game 1 of Mouse versus Animate, and so far, not really much going on. Both teams are really just going to be happy farming. We see Samwise going for the BT, and he's starting to max his piercing arrow, so we're going to see some poke coming out of this team. There is no real sustain on both teams, so any poke is going to be permanent unless they have lifesteal. So I still think that, however, Team Mouse are going to have a better time poking, especially with Lux, Lulu, Ezreal, and Jace. It's going to be a little bit more difficult figure out who's going to be the one to engage. Shacker, I don't think Shacker's going to want to engage, especially since he's not looking like he's having the best of games. He's 0-1-1 with 83 CS right now, so he's a little bit under-farmed as this Jarvan, which could be really bad if you don't get enough farm on the J4. However, we take a look at the other farm. We have 200 CS on Accolord's Orianna, 200 CS on Varus, and almost 190 CS on the Renekton. So, to compensate for the lack of farm on Jarvan, the laners are very, very well farmed. And we see Zyra completely crushing Lulu in CS, almost 2 times the CS, 10 CS to 4 CS. So, that Zyra just outplaying the Lulu very, very hard, picking up all that free farm right there. Shacker is rotating bottom, going to try to make something happen. Samwise just barely manages to not pick up that ward. Vizzy, on the other hand, is having a little bit of trouble at top lane against the Jace, who has surprisingly maxed hypercharge, so if he starts to lock onto someone with that hypercharge, you can expect him to melt very quickly. Just a little bit of a boring period. I'm patiently awaiting the return of my co-caster Metis.
I'm here. Hello?
Oh, there we are. Hey Metis, welcome back to the game.
Hey dude, how's it going?
Well, it's kind of even right now. There's a little bit of a gold lead on Animate, but aside from that, games are pretty much even. And on top lane, Kikis is in a little bit of trouble. No, Vizzy's in a little bit of trouble. He actually goes No, he survives, but the Ezreal is coming, and no, it just barely misses it. Well, not really barely. I'm just trying to be nice. It missed by a long shot.
It was a nice try. We actually have the final spot coming in there. Shaka's very low, being forced to flag and drag away, and the grasping roots will land onto Lux. So that is gonna halt the onslaught there around mid. But I've just jumped into this game, Ram, and it looks incredibly close. Just 2 to 4 gold difference is very close as well.
It is very close, but I feel that Samwai's gonna go in on AOD, but he's completely out of position. Here comes Renekton, but the Nasus is just going to ghost and run away. Meanwhile, in bot lane, Fusharp is going to take that turret. It looks close, but I feel that Mouse just have more control over the map and over the lanes in general. That's what I feel about this game.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I'm just having a quick look at some of the item builds here, and I was, actually hold that thought for a second, because Kikis is putting down some pain on towards Vizik there. Now we're going to be focusing on towards the mid tower. They've got a fair amount of damage, but the creep wave is going to be pretty much disintegrated. In fact, they're going back onto it again. They're going to pick this up. True Shot Barrage comes through. Akamas gets popped down from the shot blast, and that is beautiful burst damage coming out from Jace. That's why people pick him in mid. He's just so damn strong.
That was just snipe, boom, headshot, and then, like I said, Mouse definitely look like they have more control over the game, and they're just going to go right on for this inhibitor. If they pick this up 23 minutes, oh, there's the engage from Shacker. Gets polymorphed immediately, he's down to half HP, he's in a bit of trouble. There's the ultimate. We're waiting for the shockwave. There's the shockwave for 3 people. AOD gets completely destroyed there. That's a double kill for Orianna. They're going to chase off the Fusharp. He runs away. Arcane shifts Accolord very low. Renekton leading the charge. They have to be very careful of the flank. Samwise going to be dropped super low, but a beautiful pickup from Accolord. That is 3 kills. Renekton is not giving up. He is one angry crocodile, and he will live. If that was a, 3 for 1 in the end? They ended up losing the Zyra in the very beginning. But, oh god, moves! Oh my goodness, that was a bit close right there, almost picking up Samwise. But that's going to be a Nash right there for Team Animate. It looks like they're going to start on it.
Yeah, with the constant defense coming out from Accolord on the ball, Vizik should be okay, but there's a lot of damage coming down from Drake. Akamaz is going to take over tanking. Here comes Jarvan from the side. True Shot Barrage comes through, does a lot of damage there. Very nearly picking up a kill. Final Spot comes in as well, and it's just...
I think he could have used that a lot better, that Final Spark. Oh, but it looks like he's got... Oh, the flash! Wow. The micro from Samwise right there was beautiful. He dodged the light binding with his flash. That was beautiful. Really legit plays. Animate, you know, it just when it looked like they were the ones behind, they just started out playing Mouse. Like, a switch sort of turned on for them.
They were doing a nice job of toing and throwing and dodging all the damage that was coming down. At a Final Spark, True Shot Barrage. Everyone was very, very low, but they did manage to pick up the Baron there. And very interesting stuff. But the middle inhib is down. Here comes Drake as well. And Mouse should be able to pick that one up very comfortably. Indeed they will, and they'll pull themselves back. But
so it's kind of just like a pause button going on both sides right now. The mid inhib has to go down, and the Nash has been taken. So I guess Animate will be at most trying to just push down the mid lane while, you know, contending with that super minion wave. But at the same time, all the other creeps on all the other lanes have become stronger as a result of that inhibitor going down. So they could be in some serious troubles right now.
Yeah, indeed. And no, Broken Shard, in this perspective, when you have Baron, but you have the middle inhib taken down on your side, what's the kind of play that you try and make here? Do you just turtle in, or do you go aggressive?
I like the team comp of Animate for late game. They have a lot of single target damage and a lot of AoE as well, so it's going to be good for them if they get their carries farmed like Samwise and Accolord. But at the same time, you know, Jace can't be ignored late game, Ezreal can't be ignored late game, Nasus can't be ignored late game. But, you know, Lux also can't be ignored late game, but they have a more of a pseudo-poke kite comp, so it'd be difficult for Animate to make some plays happen, especially at this point.
So they are going to be just clearing out the jungle thus far. In the meantime, Fusharp is going to be picking up the red. In fact, no, Kikis is going to be taking that one down, so I'm not sure what the kind of state of play is going to be at the moment. You can see that Mauser very much, you know, understanding that Baron buff is up on Animate, and they are just hiding behind their tower or thereabouts. And I'm quite curious here, Broken Shard, if they are going to engage, is it going to come from Renekton and the Shockwave, or is it going to be Jarvan jumping in with the cataclysm?
It's going to be one sloppy mess of everyone trying to run in, pretty much. That's what engages pretty much look like. There is no real finesse to it. It's going to be the flag and drag and everyone just going blurg all over the place and running in. Honestly, it's either going to be someone caught out by the dissonance into Shockwave, or a wild Var Assault, or a Zyra Binding kind of dragging out. I don't think Shacker's going to want to lead the charge just yet, because he's kind of squishy at the moment.
Alrighty, well, let's have a quick look at some of the items that have been built up. Ezreal has finished off Last Whisper, obviously has the Iceborne Gauntlet, as you said previously. The other AD carry, Varus, is 203, has Bloodthirster, Phantom Dancer, and Last Whisper as well. So, obviously, Broken Shard, Ezreal is going to be much more useful in terms of CC maneuverability, but Varus is putting down a lot of pain here.
Both of them are going to do damage. I just feel that Varus is going to just outdo Ezreal in everything except for running away. So if you need someone to push that surrender button and run the hell away, Ezreal's going to be your man. In almost every other fashion, Varus is going to be stronger. He has more poke with his Q and his E. He's got more CC with his R. He's got more sustained damage and more burst damage as well. So at the moment, Varus is much stronger. 2-0-3 with 273 CS right now. He's definitely, AD carrying right now. He's got a little bit under 900 gold. Maybe he'll go for a defensive item, or the Infinity Edge right now.
So we kind of have a slow lull in the action right now, and if we look in terms of predictions, Broken Shot, it's pretty even in terms of gold. Obviously, you have to say with the inhib being down in mid, that is a big advantage in the favor of Mouse, but if you had to give a prediction right now on how the game is standing, who would you edge towards? Would you go with Mouse purely on the basis they have the inhib?
That inhibitor has just spawned, and at the same time, just like on cue, the Nash just went off. Prediction-wise, I see, I expect, it's not that I expect it. Like, I'm trying to word this in a way that doesn't make me sound like a jerk, but I feel that Animate are going to get lost in an engage and try to engage too hard, instead of waiting for a mistake to come out of Team Mouse and eventually throw the game through a bad engage. That's what I feel might happen.
So there is quite a lot of pressure coming down on them, and do you think that that's the reason that they will go a bit too hard, that they'll succumb to the pressure and they'll just try and make a play out of nothing?
Yeah, that's what a lot of, I don't want to say, inexperienced teams, but when you kind of look at the names on Animate, they don't necessarily have very experienced players. They have good players. I actually rate Shacker as one of the good junglers on EU, but I think they're probably going to make a little bit more mistakes than you'd expect when you compare them to Fusharp, Kikis, and Moops, who have played around a lot. Moops used to be the mid laner for Cypher, who played a lot in Season 2. Same with Kikis, used to be the top laner for Cypher, and actually the team known as MYM right now used to have Kikis. Fusharp, he played in the LCS qualifiers and he had a phenomenal game as MF, so it's really up to these seasoned players to make the calls.
Right, well, we have some poke going down towards mid. The Q does come out there. Jarvan throwing over the flag, getting some vision, but they're all stood on top of a ward. Akamez with the Oracles is going to clear that one out, and you just feel like it's on a razor's edge right now, Broken Shard, where one slight misstep will cause a massive engage to ensue.
It's like putting a bull in a china shop right now at this point. Just one out-of-place movement is going to send everything crashing right down right now.
Very, very true. And it looks like both teams have realized that, and they're both just basically pulling themselves back. And I say that actually, Mouse are going straight down the middle, whereas Animate are going to be clearing out the jungle. You have Jarvan recalling. He's been caught by a Q. I'm not sure if they're going to try and just push down the inhib here.
Here's what's really good about Mouse, is that they ended up taking the inhib, and then they lost and then they had Nash. Oh my god, the flash engaged! Shockwave hits nothing, and that's exactly what I was talking about. They're so, oh my god, Super Hot Fire is actually going to go down, but they trade that for Shacker. In the meantime, we see Jace going down to Akamez start. Samwise is going to pick up AOD. Vizzy is going to get dropped down by Blastoise. I'm trying to follow the map, but Nasus is in trouble, but there's Fusharp! Fusharp is going to go down to Samwise, and I think this is pretty much going to be a lost team fight for Mouse, but that was exactly what I was talking about with a rushed engage. They rushed that engage so hard that they ended up missing the Shockwave, but it ended up being so good for them because they caught the Renekton and the Jarvan in a pit with that Ezreal and Lux, who had already used their escape spells.
Yeah, and Samwise as well in that team fight was pretty much near full HP, so the AD carry, Varus, who we've said before is going to do a lot of damage, he's got a lot of CC as well with his Chain of Corruption, was allowed to stand up at the end and just play cleanup crew. That's going to put him on 4-0-4. That's going to give animate some extra confidence and thinking, hey guys, we can actually win this game. We can pull this one back. Even though our inhib is exposed, it's not down. We're not going to have to contend with super minions. And that team fight, I believe, is going to give them a lot of confidence going forward in this game.
I just like to see Mouse pretty much try to pull it together. I feel that that was just more mistake than it was real outplay because the Orianna Shockwave missed. If that had landed, that fight would have definitely been way, way, way more in Animate's favor. I mean, there's a lot of damage coming on. That's almost like pretty much that was a 500 damage ult. Now it's a 680 damage ult. So that Orianna ult is going to be a huge part. But Akamaz is getting caught out. He does bind Kikis, so Kikis is going to run away. Oh no! He gets caught in the Shockwave, and that's what I was talking about. Look at him, he's so low. But he's actually just going to get away. He's just going to run away. But no, Renekton is going to try to cut him off. There's AOD, and that Slice and Dice being used a little bit too early. Kikis super low, and they just decide not to chase it down.
But Baron is back up once again, so this could be the next point of contention between the two teams. You have Animate pretty much looking like they want to clear these wards out and put some pressure down, but Lulu instantly going to pop down a ward of her own. So both teams have vision on Baron. Both are fairly content it's not going down. Jace was back at spawn, now coming back. Kikis is trying his best to put down a lot of damage, but at the moment, that last team fight didn't quite work out for him. Trueshot Barrage did go down to bot lane to clear out that wave. They don't want bot pushing. Meanwhile, Light Binding goes down mid.
Sorry, I just thought they would engage on mid since Shacker just uses flagging drag. Oh, he used his EQ combo. I'm going to be the diplomatic one and say that. I thought there might be an engage there, but Samwise actually went for the QSS item. He might actually build that into the Mercurials. No. We'll just see in a second, and he does build a Mercurial, so that's a huge bonus to his AD. It's not the best item efficiency, but it's just pretty much to make sure that QSS is not a useless item pretty much sitting there. If he does go for the IE, he's probably going to have the best combination of defensive and offensive items against that comp. He's gonna really want to cleanse off the Lux Binding, the Polymorph, and the Nasus Slow. And sorry, Nasus Stun. It's a stun, not a slow. Looks like they're starting Nash because they saw Kikis bot, but Akamaz gonna get caught. Beautiful ult there, but he gets deleted. But AOD is going to follow suit. There's Super Hotfire gets nuked down. Blastoise is going to probably go down there, and that's pretty much a one-team fight without any major ults. Like, the Jarvan ult is still up, so they can re-engage if they want.
They popped quite a lot to try and kill Akamez on Zyra there, which was, you know, fair enough, you got the pick, but instantly afterwards, you're going to have the rest of her team very angry at you. You're going to be jumping in. Here comes Renekton from the side. They're going on towards Kikis. Tries his best, but gets knocked back from Jace. Jace is very, very low right now. Acceleration gate comes down. Shot Blast will land on 3, and they're going to be A-okay.
Yeah, they're getting kited really heavily, and someone in chat is trying to mock me and saying, was that another mistake? On part, it was. Akamez should not have been so far up, but Samwise was just in the right position to just come in and pop that Chain of Corruption, so it was really good of turning a bad situation into a really good one, because everyone from Animate just snapped into attention and just said, okay, you know, Akamez is caught, he's going to pop his stuff down, and we're going to engage right now. Win or lose, we have to engage now, because it's our one chance. And in the end, it actually worked out very well for them.
So we have seen the Animate, you know, over these last 5 to 10 minutes.
Oh god, Akamez just acroed. He walked into the middle of the Nash pit and just auto-hit the Nasher instead of the ward. Attack move is too good.
Yeah, OP mechanics. We are going to see Visage actually coming in there, gets polymorphed and taking aggro from Baron as well, but he obviously is much, much tankier than Akamez is. But as I was going to say before, Animate have came out pretty good the last couple of team fights, so I think their confidence is pretty high. They have taken a 4K gold lead. Go ahead.
No, it's not really surprising, because they just had good engages. Like, when I said mistakes happen is because a lot of times when people are playing these hard engage all-in comps, mistakes do happen. So you always got to make sure that you're engaging on team fights properly. And so far, all the engages from Animate have been generally very good. Shacker has been leading the charges very, very well with his Jarvan right there. Flashing in, actually, to secure his combo before anyone can react to it. So Animate definitely know what they're doing when it comes to engaging, but they are getting poked. It's a 4K gold lead. Samwise is very fed. He is 4-0-7, 6-3 Orianna, and not necessarily anything real special to say. They 1-1, but 300 CS Renekton is going to run that front line. He does have a locket, so he's playing main tank for the team. They know that Kikis was backing. We saw a barrage of pinks saying, yo, he's backing, let's do Nash, guys.
Yep, so obviously Nash is still up. as you said before, and they are going to be trying to battle this middle area, but nothing's really given for either team. So I'm quite interested to see who's going to pounce on this one first. You've got constant ward, this ward barrage going down on Baron. Both supports trying to clear them out, but who do you think this favors? You know, stalling towards the late game. Would you say that favors Nasus if he can stack up his Qs, or would you say that Animate are happy with this?
I'm not sure. It depends on how the teams play. If Mousesports just keep getting caught by these engages, then it'll definitely favor Animate, regardless. But you can't ignore the Jace late game. The Jace and Lux, you know, we've heard all the horror stories of Lux catching people and then just nuking them down instantly with her combo. So it really depends. If the Lux can catch people late game and 50 minutes into the game and catch people with her combo and nuke them down, in combination with Ezreal, there's a lot of real long range nuke coming out of there. But it depends. Like, I really like Animate's late game. They have a really tanky front line in Orianna to protect the AD carry and a very strong scaling AD carry there.
Alrighty, well, you do have Animate congregating around Baron again. Surprise, surprise. Shot Blast comes through, does a lot of damage to Akamas there. About a third of his HP just disappeared. Going to be looking to steal this red buff right now. Another Shot Blast comes through. Here comes Jaffa from the side though. Jumping on Final Spark has been popped off. Shaka goes very, very low from the Final Spark and True Shot Barrage combination. Visage is going very low as well. Is forced to pull himself back. But with dangerously low characters, Visage is going to be engaged on by the Nasus. Stranglethorns used defensively. Knocks Nasus up and does halt the onslaught with Ghost being popped as well. But with so many players low, Broken Shard, I think they may very well go for this Baron.
That was one of what I was talking about, the mistakes. There was, oh my god, Akamas just gets caught out. He will almost get nuked down if not for that Orianna shield. And there's the laser, and he does end up going down. Moops doing a good job playing sniper this game. And that's what I was talking about, mistakes. If they're not playing carefully, they will get poked down like that. Acklord gets caught. Samwise going man mode, gets poked down super hard. This Nash has been taken down, and that's going to be a Nash for Team Mousesports, and a definite sizable advantage going on. Samwise gets exhausted, but AOD being man jumping in right there. There's the flash from Samwise, and he's getting just permaslowed. The Lux ult comes down, and Fusharp is going to pick that up. So, you know, that's going to be an inhibitor, and, you know, it's going to be more than maybe one inhibitor. They have long death timers on the main carry, Samwise, and another 30 seconds on Shaker.
Their base is ripe for the taking. They're going to pick up one inhib, as you say. Maybe going to be pushing towards the top lane as well, as Jace is already taking point, pushing down this creep wave. So, as you say, it could very well be two here. Ezreal's taking a lot of damage, though, from Orianna, not able to be popped down. I think he went through his barrier. Yes, he did. Had he not have had the barrier up, Orianna would have had herself a free kill. But yeah, they do pick up the tower and they pull back.
Orianna does a lot of damage. She's sitting on 560 AP right now. Has the Hourglass, Void Staff, Athene's Death Cap, and Sork Boot. So she's going to be hitting hard if she gets that ball on your face. So you better try to avoid the balls on your face. Yes, I was trying to make that pun.
That's Broken Shard's quote of the day. Avoid balls on your face. I think most people would agree.
When in doubt, if a ball is flying at your face, avoid it.
Indeed. That's a pro tip right there.
Pro tip of the day.
That's right. You want to improve reload? Avoid balls.
Just imagine a game of dodgeball where you're dodging pretty much. That's my advice for you in playing against Orianna. No, but in all seriousness, if you remember when Orianna was released, if you got caught by that ball and combo dissonance once, the next time it goes near you, you're probably going to get nuked down. She had insane damage when she was released.
Okay, well, Drake is being completely destroyed here from Mouse. Of course, they do have the Baron, so they have the additional stats. They have all of the regen and such. Meanwhile, Lulu, with the Oracle, is going to be going in, clearing out these wards, allowing the rest of her team potentially to come down bot. Zyra has been caught again from Akames, the shot blast and the final spark, that combination. And as you were saying before, Broken Shard, what this game is probably going to come down to is those mistakes. They're starting to pile on each other. That mistake, 45-second death chamber for Akames, is going to cost at least one tower.
I blinked and Zyra died. What I missed?
Light blinding. Binding, I should say.
Pretty much. The shot blast is an interesting improvisation to the Ezreal ult, but it pretty much fulfills the same duty. I said duty. It just pretty much catches them up, but Kick It, you know, going a little bit crazy, taking that tower down super low with that hypercharge right there. Really, really strong damage. And there's the light binding, and pretty much what I said. Ezreal a little bit late to the party, and they're going to take this inhibitor down for free.
And this all started from a chain of events from Akames being caught in the jungle. That one light binding. Here comes Renekton though. They're going to try and make something happen. He's jumped in man mode, but maybe too manly on this occasion. He's very nearly falling. Beautiful Stranglethorns though, and the Shockwave as well. They're picking up players left, right, and center. Varus at the back is trying to pick up as many kills as possible. He's picked up 2 so far. Here comes Akalord on the Orianna, chasing after Fushop, but he is that blue build Ezreal. He's going to be a nightmare to catch up with, and should be just fine to pull himself back. So yes, that was somewhat of a turnaround. I thought for a second, Brokenshot, that Renekton was too manly, but then you had the beautiful Shockwave.
That Shockwave into Varus Q, like, I know I'm not supposed to curse on stream, but that was just the absolute best cluster fudge. Let's just go with that. That's the diplomatic one. That was the hugest cluster of AoE damage just piled together. That Q would have just run right through their entire team if the Shockwave had not pulled them in together. So Samwise, you know, with that last Whisper, is going to shred a lot of damage, especially since he managed to charge that Q to full. It did 800 physical damage, which is reduced by 15%.
Just insane amounts of damage, and you have to feel if Animate are going to pull themselves back in this game. They're 2 inhibs down, so obviously for the next few minutes they are going to be by and large defending their base. But when the inhibs are back up again, if they're going to win this Broken Shard, you have to feel it's going to have to be a pixel perfect Shockwave landing. If that misses again, they're probably going to lose the game.
Well, I really like that Shockwave, but I just don't feel that Mousesports are going to let them replicate it. I mean, you saw that even after that beautiful engage, they just have a problem chasing down the Ezreal, who just keeps running away. He's sitting on pretty much 6 items right now. The best 6 items for the blue Ezreal. All his items are blue except for Blade of the Rune King, that cheating bastard. And Akamed gets caught again, and that's not even a light binding that caught him. He just died. He just walked up and said hi, and then died.
Well, we were saying earlier, you know, some teams, when they're pressured, when they're forced back in their base, and they're trying desperately to get vision, they're trying desperately to stop this constant pressure being applied, they do make lapses in concentration, and sometimes they get caught. This is going to be the 3rd inhib tower going down. If all 3 inhibs go down, of course, you're going to get those double creep waves of super minions, and then it's going to be very difficult to pull yourselves back into the game. So I feel Animate, even 4v5, are going to try their best to stop this inhib from falling down. The problem is, though, they're going to get poked out beforehand.
Akabet's playing a little bit of Dora the Explorer in the jungle. The map told him to go there, but it looks like they're just going to pressure the inhibitors. They have 1 inhibitor down and 2 open face inhibitors at the moment, so Kikis just being a little bit of a bully, bullying Det Renekton. He's going to try to go all in, and there's the mid inhibitor going down. It pretty much feels like it's going to be game right now. Mousesports are going to probably pick this one up in the next couple of seconds. Oh my god, the Shockwave just completely whiffed there.
Yeah, they are going to be engaging off the back of this because they simply have to, but you're going to have a dominating Ezreal jumping on. Renekton's very tanky, but as soon as he drops, they have absolutely nothing in reserve. Shaka is very low as well. 5 players still alive. Here comes Jace from the backside. Kikis. This is the final nail in the coffin. Double kill for Jace. Can he pick up a triple off this as well? Yes, he will. I think that's going to be the quadra kill just to sum this one up nicely. Yep, indeed it will be. And the Nexus falling as well. GG.
Pretty much nothing to say except for mistakes. I was right. I'm going home. GG, I was right. I'm going to stop before I make another mistake. I'm just gone. Well, but that was pretty much convincing victory, but pretty impressive team fights coming out of that last game.
It was a very strange game because we joined in, I think, at the 15-minute mark, Broken Shot. Is that about right?
Yeah.
I think we joined in, it was 2-3 or 2-4 or somewhere around that area. And it looked pretty even. Obviously, Mouse did have the slight upper hand. As soon as we started to cast the game, they went right down the middle after getting a couple of picks and picked up the inhibitor. And then they worked on Baron. But as you said, the pressure just mounted and Animate made mistakes.
They're just like, guys, the casters are in. Let's just go make plays. I'm pretty sure what just went down, because pretty much what someone was feeding me, I'd like to just thank Ben Bag, I think he's the manager of Animate, for feeding me information as the game was going on. Thanks to you. This is a shout out. Really appreciate it. The game was pretty passive up until the point we joined in, where they just went down the middle and started making plays left and right.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess normally games do start to liven up around the 15-20 minute mark, because that's where Drake is really at its core. It's a big part of the map globally. Baron not quite as much. That's still early times for Baron, but when you get towards the 10-15 minute mark, Drake is definitely a point of contention between the two teams. And we did see that. A couple fights went off around Drake. We got a few picked afterwards, and that's what started the train rolling down mid. They picked up the inhib, then put a lot of pressure on Baron, and after they had the Baron buff, Animate were just stuck in their own jungle. Akimez got caught, I think it was 3 times in a row, Broken Shard, correct me if I'm wrong, and those picks always resulted in at least a tower falling.
That was really good pick off coming in from Moves. He took some sniper training. But that's going to be game one going to Mousesports in this best of 3. We're going to go into a quick commercial break. I am Broken Shard, the Crystal Ball Master, joined by the lovely and darling Metis. And we will see you after a short break.